Well, yesterday was a trip. So Trump makes the tariffs official at 25% on steel and aluminum. Pierre Poilievre comes out and makes some big announcements in regards to our Arctic and securing our border up there. Then Freeland's response to Trump's tariffs is we're going to go dollar for dollar. And then Jagmeet Singh comes out saying, I'm going to put Trump on notice, and says a bunch of other BS. And then American media starts floating ideas of what Trudeau is actually doing and how he's trying to manipulate the Canadian people. It is just, it's all coming full circle out here, boys. We have a lot to talk about. The far left is bent on dragging us into economic obscurity. And we're just out here for the ride, it seems like. So, you know the drill. Like and subscribe. We love you. Helps the channel out. Let's get right on into it, shall we? So, as we reported yesterday, yes, Trump was coming hot and heavy with the 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. And he said it's a blanket tariff. It's going to all the countries, right? We're taking care of everybody. But it really indiscriminately really impacts us as we make up 79% of their imports on steel and aluminum. So what happens here? Well, Freeland comes out with a statement saying, if I were prime minister today and to stop Trump's tariffs, I would immediately implement dollar for dollar retaliatory tariffs, immediately convene allied and affected countries to push back on Trump. So this was beauty. Let's read this, right? Canada is not alone in facing tariffs on steel and aluminum. Coordinating our response will have an even greater impact, and that is why I could convene the leaders of other important steel and aluminum producers, including the European Union, the United Kingdom, Japan, Australia, Brazil, India, Indonesia, South Korea, Mexico, Qatar, and the UAE. Number 3. Buy Canadian and direct all federal government agencies to stop purchasing of any goods from U.S. companies. Well, that's an original idea. Yeah, that will work. Yeah. My favorite part is point 2. We're going to get everyone together. We're going to push back on this. Yeah. It's one of those, I'm sure people aren't really going to care. I don't think we're going to be creating much of a coalition of sorts to push back on this because it really only impacts us majority. It stinks for other countries, but there's like, we'll shrug that off, whatever. We have other things we export, so what is what it is. But this is a big export for us. This is important for us in our relationship with the United States. This really impacts our manufacturing in Ontario and also Quebec. And again, it just proves the point that Trump is, I would believe, picking on Canada and picking on the Liberal Party and really impacting the areas where they live. I feel like this is in some ways, it just feels like it. You know, when Trudeau came out saying, yeah, we're going to tariff Republican states, I get the feeling this was a reciprocation of that. Just a feeling. Because it is funny that he ends up hitting the tariffs that indiscriminately would impact Ontario and Quebec, which is the majority of the voting base in Canada. For the Liberals, I should say. You know, but there's other pieces to it too. Like, it's really easy as Canadians to only see it in our focus and our narrow view of like what's impacting us individually. But we have to see what's happening on the other side, right? And the U.S. has a crazy debt load that they have to take care of. And Trump has promised to take care of this through tariffing countries. And on top of that, he's talked about how he wants to bring manufacturing back to the United States, how they farmed that out of their country so much. He wants to bring that all back to the United States. So I'm not saying this is all to try and spite Canada. I'm sure there's a piece of it there, but a lot of it also has to do with the promises he's made as a president. It just happens to coincide with some other beefs he's been having. And again, this response doesn't surprise me, and it's so predictable. And do you know what this gives us? Do you know how this actually helps Canada? Well, it doesn't. We get smoked every time. And Jagmeet Singh just makes a fool of himself on national television. I know everyone's seen this already, but just for the sake of the laughs and also the pain, we have to watch this again. Chak Posobiec, who is a political content commentator in the United States, is literally laughing at him. Is this the end of Trump? I would take as a very sarcastic tone. How can you take this man seriously? This guy goes on CNN. He's the leader of a tertiary party in Canada. He doesn't have any say in anything. He talks a big game, loves talking a big talk, and he doesn't change anything here. And then he as well goes on to literally spread lies and disinformation in this interview on CNN. Again, it's CNN. It's a left-leaning outlet. And even the anchor is like, okay.
Fighting entail? How do you see that fighting moving forward? Is it reciprocal tariffs?
Yeah, the first step is going to be dollar for dollar retaliatory tariffs. Impose a tariff on us, we'll impose a tariff back on you. Again, no one wins in these trade wars. But this is not a fight that we wanted to pick. We were happy to continue to have a strong relationship. Donald Trump has picked this fight, so we're going to fight back. We just announced today, what I would do is put in place a 100% tariff on Tesla, directly targeting Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk is proudly touting this idea of the 51st state. So let's hit back at Elon Musk. I've also said we should shut down the supply of critical minerals. Another move that directly targets Elon Musk and his Tesla company. The batteries that he needs require these critical minerals. We've got tools, and we should be ready to use them. It's not something that we wanted to do, but if Donald Trump wants to bring this fight, know that we are ready. I'm putting Donald Trump on notice.
Canadian MP Jagmeet Singh.
Can't even say it straight. I'm putting Donald Trump on notice. Can't even say it straight. What a guy. How is this guy even allowed to speak for our country? He has no decision-making power. Why is he even here? He's saying the stupidest things, most inflammatory things, and these people keep going out there and causing more tensions that don't need to be there. It is really, quite frankly, aggravating, and I am annoyed by it. And then to go on to say, yes, Elon Musk is proudly touting this 51st state, blah, 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 blah. There is literally no record of Elon Musk saying anything of the sort. You can say what you want about Elon Musk. That wasn't one of the things he's ever said or even advocated for. He's more focused on cutting all the bloat in the bureaucracy in the United States to be even worried about this BS up here in Canada. This is Donald Trump's brainchild. That's not his. He has no interest in that. Come on, man. What are we doing here? It is frustrating as a Canadian to watch all this transpire. Yes, the tariffs are coming. Tariffs are coming on the steel and aluminum. They're here. It is what it is. We got to deal with it. We have to work through it. But then to get people who have no decision-making power in our country whatsoever, whether at the provincial level, municipal level, federal level, like this guy does nothing. This guy does jujitsu with this hour's 22 minutes. That's what he does. That's all he's got. Like, why is this a guy given any airtime? And this shows the unfairness of the media in our stinking country. It's crazy. We see Jagmeet Singh going on CNN. We see Carney going on. We see Trudeau going on. Do you know who we don't see going on American networks right now? Pierre Poilievre. Do you know what Pierre Poilievre's doing right now? He's speaking directly to the voter. Going up to Iqaluit, going and visiting the borders, talking about what he's going to do as if he was prime minister to bolster our borders and take care of the drug infestations in our country and the drug running that's happening. That's what he's been talking about. And he's been doing it on YouTube, on social media, talking directly to the people, which I appreciate. But we know he would not be able to do what these guys are doing because he'd be treated so unfairly. See, look at, he's cozying up to Elon Musk. He's cozying up to Donald Trump. He went on American television. Look, he doesn't care about... You think CBC's going to publish anything like that about Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, Mark Carney, Freeland? They've all been on American networks over the past couple weeks. All of them. The only person who hasn't been, Pierre Poilievre. Now, he's been too busy suggesting real solutions. As we continue this far left madness, a panelist on Fox News calls out Trudeau's hot mic moment, which we know wasn't really, I believe, to be an actual hot mic moment. And I'll explain here afterwards of what I mean and why I think that.
Here, by the way, I'm not sure that was an accidental hot mic moment from Justin Trudeau. I think Trudeau knows exactly what's happening, and he wants to pump the threat of an annexation of Canada because he believes that can help his party. They have been floundering in the polls. They've been down for a year and a half to the Conservatives by 20 points. But the idea that maybe scary Trump from the U.S. would try to overthrow Canadian sovereignty could be this political lifeline to the political left in Canada. And I think that's why he's going to hype this. There's a political advantage potentially there for the Liberals up in Canada to use that threat in the elections upcoming.
Interesting, a little bit of strategy.
So they were floating that on their airwaves. And just let's do a flashback to something the White House press secretary said and directed at Justin Trudeau just a little over a week ago.
Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, said today that if the U.S. imposes tariffs, he will respond and he will not relent until the tariffs are removed. Are we seeing the start of a trade war with Canada?
I don't think so. I think the president is going to implement those tariffs tomorrow, and he will respond to Mr. Trudeau's comments in due time, I am sure. Canada, Mexico, and China, which, as I mentioned, President Trump will implement a 10% tariff on China, have all enabled illegal drugs to pour into America. The amount of fentanyl that has been seized at the southern border in the last 2 years alone has the potential to kill tens of millions of Americans. And so the president is intent on doing this, and I think Justin Trudeau would be wise to talk to President Trump directly before pushing outlandish comments like that to the media.
I believe Justin Trudeau should talk to Donald Trump first before pushing outlandish comments like that to the media. And that's a threat that we know Justin Trudeau took to heart. That's why I don't think this hot mic moment was all that accidental and a real hot mic moment. Because he knows he's on thin ice with Trump. And he's scared of him. And he should be, because he's a coward. And we know Trudeau is a coward. We know it. And this is another coward way of trying to get messaging out. Oh, it was a hot mic moment. So I didn't technically try to leak anything to the media. The media just happened to be there, and I accidentally forgot I had a mic on. Please, give me a break. Like, the thing he said, it wasn't even all that scandalous. Like, it was the fakest hot mic moment in my life. However, I think he's for real. I think he wants to absorb Canada. These people are bent on putting us into economic obscurity for the sake of their own political careers and keeping control over this country. But if they keep doing what they're doing, we're going to be the state they want us to be. We're going to be a know-nothing country that doesn't provide it the way they're going. We're going to be a know-nothing country. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm reminded of stories like this. You know, the organization that Carney used to be a chair of and likely has some personal interest in. Brookfield is among the group of foreign companies that have been investing actively in China's renewables market. It has $18 billion in USD in assets under management in China across various sectors. Green Slush Fund, we're going to invest in green technology, but all the technology we want to invest in isn't in Canada. It's not in the United States. It's in China. A lot of stuff we want to do involves China to some degree. And if we continue going on this journey that we're currently going on, instead of standing on our own 2 feet, because we know that's not the option the Liberals actually want. They claim to want to do that because they want to improve in the polls and not lose as many seats. But if they could have their way, we'd be a vassal state to China. 100%. This is why I don't totally buy all the fanfare going on in the Liberal Party right now. As much as they are getting a bit of a revival, especially with all these Trump threats, this doesn't lie. 2 cabinet members set to resign. I thought the Liberal Party was doing great. I thought they were in great shape. Why do they have 2 more cabinet members resigning? Or I should say, aren't going to be returning for re-election? Why? Mary Ange and Arif Virani both aren't coming back. If the Liberal Party is going through this resurgence, why are these 2 leaving? Sure, there's part of it that says, if Carney becomes the leader of this party, well, I know I don't have a place in cabinet, so I might as well just go off in the distance. There's definitely a possibility of that, but they're just going to disappear in the distance. Wonder why. And all this chaos and all everything that's going on, there's one party who's focusing right now on Canada. Whether you like them or hate them, so many of our left-wing politicians are focused on Donald Trump. Right now, the Conservatives are focused on Canada. And especially as they launch this rebrand of their campaign, Canada First, it's a welcome change and a focus that Canada needs right now. We need to crack down on the crime that's going on, need to crack down on our borders, need to eliminate the needless spending, and especially as he announced yesterday, we're going to massively cut down on foreign aid. That's something we need. That is something we need. We go through any of those foreign aid documents here and seeing all the money that's going out, so unnecessary. We literally could axe most of that, still keep the useless programs we got going on, and actually be okay. That's how much waste there is. It's insane. That's where we're at. That gives me some encouragement. At least there's one party who's trying to focus on Canadians, where the other is just focused on trying to make an enemy out of those on the outside so that they can maintain political power. Can't let them get away with it. Can't let them have it. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out.